Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you to Taft City Council Successor Agency Joint Regular Meeting for Tuesday, September the 18th. As a courtesy to all, please silence your cell phones. We don't want anybody jumping up and breakdancing during the course of the people's business. We're going to begin this evening's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Jillian Gongora is going to lead us in that, followed by the invocation from Bob Jordan of the Lighthouse Foursquare Church. If you would join us all, please, and follow Jillian.
Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Not here. Okay, then I would ask that Ron Jordan or
Nice.
How did that happen? Ron Orton, would you please, sir, step in here?
Certainly.
And bless us.
Can I
Thank
do
you.
it from here?
Yes, sir, you may.
Okay. Heavenly Father, we gather before you this evening to conduct the business of this community. We ask for your guidance, your presence, and your watchful eye over the way we conduct ourselves and the business we are doing. Thank you in the Son's name.
Amen. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call?
Yes, Mayor Knorr,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Hill. Here. Councilmember Bryan.
Here.
Councilmember Cryer.
Here.
And Councilmember Miller is absent tonight.
All right, thank you very much. First item on this evening's agenda is a certificate of commendation for Charmaine Brooks. And I do believe that Mayor Pro Tem Hill is going to be presenting that. So if you will.
Thank you, Mayor. It is my pleasure. The City of Taft, State of California, a certificate of commendation presented to the family of Charmaine Brooks. Whereas Charmaine moved to Taft as a young child with her family and graduated from Taft Union High School in the 1956. Suddenly her daughter became much younger than she is. I'm sure she'd like that. Whereas soon after graduating high school, she married her husband, Lloyd Brooks. They were married for over 50 years. And whereas Brooks and her husband entered the business world in 1965, where they owned and operated Lloyd's Lease Service, and whereas she was a former president of the Seroptimus Club and the Downtown Merchant Association, and helped coordinate the first Taft Health Fair in 1983. And whereas Charmaine was an active member in the Taft Chamber of Commerce, held several positions on the Chamber's Board of Directors, and served as Executive Director on 2 different occasions. And whereas she originated the first Taft Chamber of Commerce annual gala in 1984 and received recognition by the 30th Assembly District in honor of her work with the gala. And whereas Brooks was named Rotary Club of Taft's Woman of the Year and Seroptimus Woman of the Year. And whereas Charmaine was a tireless advocate for Taft businesses and citizens and donated generously of her time to the West Side. Now therefore, the Taft City Council remembers the legacy of local icon Charmaine Brooks, her dedication and involvement, and the mark she has left in the community of Taft. Dated this 18th day of September 2018 by Mayor Knorr and the Council.
Who is going to
We
receive
have her
this?
daughter Michelle here tonight.
What a wonderful thing.
Do we want to have her come up for her a picture? Or do we want
Absolutely.
Come on up here.
We'll play a little bit of Jenga here with
All right, we can
Play
do
Jenga
that.
with our chairs.
Make room, please. Shut that
you. Get over to the
there.
wall. We'll put my chair right behind you.
All right. Never easy.
All right. Councilman? How are you doing? So nice to have you up here.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Such a wide angle.
1, 2, 3. One more. 1,
Speech now.
Can I say a thank you to everyone?
Sorry.
Renee. I have a quick thank you that I'd like to read. My mom's greatest joy, other than her family, came from advocating for her beloved city, its businesses, clubs, and citizens. There is a huge void in my life living without her, and I can only imagine how her smile, friendliness, and energy is missed in this town. I can still see her driving down Kern Street in her red Corvette on her way to the chamber. I have the best memories of her telling me her plans for the next chamber gala. The planning, the ideas, and the imagination. I could always expect a phone call on Tuesday after the Seroptimus luncheon. With excitement, she would tell me about the meeting. When it came to Taft, Mom was unstoppable. Charmaine was proud of Taft. It was her home. On behalf of myself, my family, we are grateful to the Taft City Council and especially Renee Hill for honoring my mom with this proclamation. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. Charmaine lit up so many lives in the city of Taft. I knew her and I knew Lloyd. Lloyd and I were in business together in a partnership where we formed a coalition to service pumping units. I have never met in my entire life a harder working man than Lloyd Brooks, right up to the very end. He could work me and my three best guys into the dirt. He was a moral and honest individual, and I loved having him as a business partner. I will tell you that. I miss them both terribly. Wonderful folks. God bless you. Next up, council statements, non-action. Councilman Cryer, begin with you this evening.
Thank you, Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute.
So we got the
I skipped a little
citizens request.
something. You're going to have to hold off on that.
Good.
I got this other thing I got to read about. We'll go ahead and let those who are going to leave. All righty. Next up, item number 2. Citizen request public comments. This is the time and place for the general public to address the city council on matters within its jurisdiction. State law prohibits the council from addressing any issue not previously included on the agenda. Council may receive comment and set the matter for a subsequent meeting. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. All right, first up is going to be Marie Cavello about the garden.
Hi, I just want to give you a quick update on what we're doing this year at the garden. We've got some great things planned, and I definitely wanted to share it with you. You know, basically, with everybody's support, the city and everything, we have been able to expand the garden to 50 beds. 50 beds is quite a bit. We can actually help a lot of families with that. Now, I've got a couple of community events that were held. We had an Arbor Day event where we had children, we had fire trucks, we had Mark Sampa. I mean, everybody came out and helped us to celebrate that. And basically, we had another event where we invited children in the fall time to take seeds and plant them, and they actually brought them home. And they were able to take some of the garden home and hopefully grow some veggies with their parents. And that went really well. Okay, and basically what we did too is we distributed to the children, local city officials, and everyone participated in a pumpkin carving competition. And that was a lot of fun last year. It's going to be even more fun this year. We also did worm composting classes, and the children participated in a treasure hunt for prizes. Along with several organizations, Cinegrow actually participated and gave them prizes for different things that they did. And this year also, we were included in the Seroptimus Garden Tour, and that was a big deal for us. It was our first year being included in that, and we could share with True Value, the children, and also everyone that came through the garden, the benefits of our garden. And also vermicomposting is an addition to the garden. Who wants to know what vermicomposting is?
Go ahead, fill us in.
Basically-
Fill us
Okay,
in.
basically what it is we take basic garbage and we turn it into compost using worms, okay? And actually the ROP program at Taft College went ahead and built us a vermicomposting bin that we're still using. And actually it's great to look at the worms and see what they're doing in our garden. With the worms, they are actually able to totally fertilize what we're doing, what the veggies that we're, growing. Okay, so it's a big deal. All right, and actually we add the worms to our raised garden beds. We educate the community on the process of taking organic kitchen waste and turning it into high quality mulch. Okay, this year we did have some setbacks, unfortunately, because of vandalism and theft. We had a really rough beginning of the year. But now what we're doing is we're actually getting together with our police force, and we installed a security camera, and I gotta say we're a lot safer than we were a couple of months ago. Knock on wood, no thefts. Okay, so things are going good there. And this year also, they hired me to kind of keep an eye on things. Basically on a day-to-day basis, I go to the garden, I kind of work on irrigation, and I also publicize the garden. And simply by being there on a day-to-day basis, I can kind of say, hey, here we are, we're watching our garden, here's what we can do for you. Don't you want to come and grow some veggies with us? Is it. All right, so basically I want to share some members of the board. I mean, our board was shrunken, but our board is really growing now. One of our biggest board members is actually Orjo Cryer. He's our president. Our vice president is Michael Long. We also on our board have Jay Ashley. We have Ginny Miller. We have Kathy Johnson. I mean, our board is some high profile people. They're really great. And they're right here behind us, and they're supporting things that we do. And I just wanted to share that. They're always here to answer any questions that we might have. Now we're building relationships with Taft Union High School. And right now we have their agriculture program, and we also have their culinary arts program that have beds in the garden. And they're growing stuff that these kids are using in the culinary classes and also the gardening classes. We've got the Girl Scouts have a bed, the Boy Scouts have a bed, and it's really getting to be a bigger deal. Things are really coming together for the board. All right, we've also got a program with the Till students, and what the Till students are doing, they have 2 beds, and they're going to be learning how to make jams and jellies out of the fruits and vegetables that we have in the garden. So they're learning not only volunteer work, but they're also learning how to be independent. They're able to grow their food. They're also able to make jams and jellies out of the fruit that they get. So even that's a good thing. We're planning a fall event, and all of you, of course, are invited, okay? It's slated for October. It's the last week of October, and we're going to have a lot of fun at the garden. We really are. We're doing face painting. We're doing pumpkin carving. I guess we're going to invite Zach Scrivener and, of course, all of you. And it's going to be really a good thing. So we're hoping that everyone brings their families out. We're going to have some great gardening classes. We're going to be growing vegetables out of a haystack. So that's kind of interesting. So anyway, I just wanted to invite you to this, and I want to say thank you ever so much for your time. I so appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thanks for coming and informing us. A lot going on. Thank you very much. All right, next up is going to be Carol Jordan wants to talk about Walmart.
Hello, my name is Carol Jordan, and since Kmart has left the city, I've been hearing a lot about the tax base for the community and how it's going to go down because they were our largest tax supporter. And then I also saw in one of the local papers that a Walmart will never come to Taft. We have friends that used to live in the Taft area, John and Julie Flory. They lived here for many years. John was in state corrections and a probationary officer, and Julie worked at the Taft Corrections Prison as the warden's assistant most of the time that she was there. They both retired in Arkansas, and Julie got a job in the corporate offices in Bentonville, Arkansas, in Walmart. At first she was secretary to 7 corporate lawyers, and currently she works as a manager of assortment, execution, and scheduling, and her reports go directly to the VPs at Walmart. So she's pretty well connected. Julie's heart is concerned for Taft, as many others are. And through networking contacts, Julie acquired the names of 2 people in the corporate offices of Walmart that the city council could write letters to get information about getting a Walmart in Taft. As you know, the trucks for Walmart drive on the 119. They come through here all the time. Julie says that Walmart does not only count just the number of people in the city limits, which I've heard that before, but she says they don't. They take into consideration all the outlining areas as well. These are what she said to do, and I'll give you guys copies of these for each of you. To write a letter to these 2 people at the same address. One is Sonny Littlefield, director. The other one is Jerry Spencer, vice president of Realty. In the letter, you need to include that Taft is 35 to 40 miles away from a Walmart in a community where many people are low income and some do not have vehicles to drive to a Walmart. And Walmart is greatly needed in Taft. Taft had a Kmart for years, and you would need to state how many years. And it did well here, but closed due to no fault of the community. They would also want you to state the population of Taft and all the surrounding areas from the greater Taft area, including Maricopa, Valley Acres, Dustin Acres, Fellows, Derby Acres, McKittrick, Bell Ridge, etc. And probably the chamber would have those numbers. Also, it would be the nearest Walmart for Cuyama, so you may want to include those numbers as well. And number 4, Albertsons is the only major chain grocery store. We do have the other one down in the other shopping center. Not sure what the name of it is. But the Albertsons prices are pretty high. That's pretty common knowledge. The only major chain drugstore is Rite Aid. And again, their prices are usually higher than Walmart. I have a personal example. Magna Life Pain Relieving Foot Cream. My husband uses that. It's $19.99 at the Taft Rite Aid. It's $14.99 at the Gosford Walmart. That's a 25% difference for the exact same thing. So I would like to see you guys at least try to get a Walmart. I understand small businesses. My parents had a small business here for 30 years. My dad was born here. I was born here. Some of you may remember Watkins Flower Shop. But people are driving to Bakersfield anyway. To either work or shop or live there. And while they're there, they can shop at Walmart, where if we had a Walmart, they could be doing that here and saving the tax base for Taft. Also, Walmart has generic prescriptions for $4 for people that don't have insurance. That could be a big savings for them. We've been to Oklahoma and Arkansas several times, and we see Walmarts that are in towns with populations lower than 5,000 all the way down to 2,500 people. So Julie said that she'd be happy to talk to anybody if they would like to call her. I listed her phone number. And also, Walmart would create a lot of jobs in our town that might keep people here than going to Bakersfield to work. So I just wanted to pass this information along to you, and hope you guys can check into it. So
All right,
I've got
Carol, thank you very
copies.
much. Excuse me. Next up, Dr. Deb Daniels with Taft College.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. It's my pleasure to come to you this evening to give you an update on what's happening at Taft College. You may have noticed, if you've been by the campus lately, that there's been some activity on our Student Center building. If you might remember that our Student Center building, we terminated our construction contractors a few weeks ago and have been in the process with the surety company to start up, to provide us with a new contractor so we continue. Mike Owens Fabrication from Bakersfield is a steel subcontractor, and they have been on our property finishing the steel substructure to the building to make it safe and to make it ready for the new contractors to come in. So we're very happy with this progress. The surety company is working to bring in a new contractor so we can get it continued and finished so that we can move in. So we're very excited about that. In other news, our fall enrollment is up 5%, so we can really use that building when it gets done. Our men's soccer team is currently in first place in the state, and we're very proud of them. And on October 11th, we are having our annual Cougar Cookout, which is our community celebration and we usually honor certain people with the Spirit Award, and this year is Don and Linda Zumbro. So we're very happy to honor them, and I hope that you would consider coming. This is a great community party that we love to have people come. We have, so far we've got about 300 reservations. We still have spaces though, so if you're interested, I hope that you'll consider attending. So I leave some flyers with the city clerk, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the update. Next up, Dr. Oren, Kathy Oren with the Chamber of Commerce.
Good evening. I want to begin tonight by thanking you. I see that if all goes well with our consent calendar, we will be the happy recipients of our TOT tax, and I want to thank you for that. Because of the strong economy that we have, that tax is that 25% allocation of the transient occupancy tax is a good sum, and we appreciate that. We are doing very well, and we are probably about, I hate to give you a number because then the cat's out of the bag and it's like, well, I think we ought to let the chamber pay for that. So, but we are healthy in that we are around $20,000 to the good over last year, so we are moving along, and I appreciate that you are part of that, so thank you very much. So I'm hoping you'll all look kindly on us at the consent calendar time. I want to recap for you or announce for you the sit and sips that are coming up tomorrow. Josh Bryant, city councilman, will be coming to talk to us about his candidacy for another term. And a week from tomorrow, Michael Long will be the guest. So we are continuing with our invitation to candidates to come and talk at Sit and Sip, and we appreciate their willingness so far. Everybody's been wonderful, and it's been wonderful that you are so willing to be there and put yourself out there for people to ask questions and so forth. So we appreciate that. We'll be seeing Councilwoman Hill in the near future, so that's good. Vince Fong is coming to Pizza Factory 9 a.m. on Thursday, and that's a wonderful chance for us to get to see him. So I'm just announcing that. The Chamber is not sponsoring that, but that doesn't mean it wasn't a good idea. So we plan on seeing Vince Fong. Just want folks to be aware of that. Our golf tournament, the annual Chamber Golf Tournament, it is going to be on the 29th of this month. That's a couple Saturdays from now, and it will be at Buena Vista. And if you are interested in playing, you need to get information to us because we are filling up fast. And I'd like to announce to you that October 13th, which is a ways away, the Kiwanis Club of Taft will be doing a car seat check in conjunction with the Highway Patrol, and this will take place on a Saturday, the 13th, at the Taft City School District parking lot, and that's the parking area between Lincoln School and the district office. And they are authorized to check car seats, children's car seats, and they have a fair amount of seats available to give people that have either the wrong kind or a kind that is not authorized. So that is a good chance for families to avail themselves of safe car seats. October 20th, I have to give to our friends in Rotary. It is the Biscuits and Gravy Breakfast that is sponsored every year by Rotary. And Orchel, I believe that's at Lincoln Junior High's cafeteria.
That's correct.
And I'll probably start early in the morning. And it is a fundraiser that anyone can participate in. If you need questions answered about that, you can see a Rotarian. They'll explain to you. I'm going to be nice and tell you when it is. I'm not going to give you the whole thing. So that's up to the Rotarians. So it seems to me there is one thing that has slipped my mind, but October 17th, which is the candidate forum. That is at OT Cookhouse, and that will be starting promptly at 6 o'clock. We are going to be hearing from the candidates for City Council first, and then we'll be hearing from the other folks that are running for various offices in our town. So that will be a jam-packed evening, and we hope that you avail yourself of that access to those people that are going to be representing us. And my last job is one that I want to just announce to you. Andrew Wagner came and spoke at Sit and Sip, and he did a fine job. But unfortunately, he's not running for the Chamber of Commerce, and he is running for Taft City Council. But I have to tell you, my friend Doug Keeler obviously is working too hard because he's scrambling. And this is in no way a reflection of his good way of reporting. I want to say that first up. But I have had several phone calls because people are confused, mostly like my board of directors going, so who's running and where? And so that is, we were at the Chamber of Commerce, and we listened to the candidates for the Taft City Council. So it was just a boo-boo, and it's one that I could have made just as easily. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Kathy. I was hoping somebody had called you and told you that nobody was trying to run for your position. Nobody could fill those shoes. Okay, now then, we get to item number 3, which is council statements of non-action. So, Councilman Cryer, you have had ample time to prepare yourself. You're up.
Thank you. The Rotary Club is doing the Biscuits and Gravy at the high school or cafeteria, and it's an opportunity for any organization, like a different club, 4-H club, FFA, or any nonprofit, to raise money for their groups. Because 100% of the money, the tickets they sell for $4, they get to keep that. The Rotarians pay for the meals. They pay for all the food and everything, and so 100% of the proceeds goes back to the students or organizations that are nonprofit. For instance, if you sell 100 tickets, make $400, you get $400, and so it's an opportunity to raise money for the schools. And I believe any groups in the college too can participate too in there. Am I correct? I believe yes. Not Rotarian. Just want to confirm. The other thing too is fishing derby. We talked about the fishing derby, Kathy. It's coming up, and that's been pretty darn good on there. And it's a good chance for the family to get involved with it. You know, it's out there and sitting out there with their ice chests and their igloos and stuff, and a rod and little barbecues and catching all these. It has different prizes for different age groups, and the grand prize is $1,000. It's a wonderful day for a family to go out there and participate, and that will be held on November 17th at the Buena Vista Lake. And also this week on Thursday, we're having the fort is having Bubba's Okie dinner, and that will be at the fort, and it'll be $20 if you have reservations. Call it in, or $25 at the door, and I hope everybody would come and participate in that. Another thing is I participated last week with Councilman Josh Bryant at the League of Cities, and I think we got our eyes open on a few things, learned a few deals at the different meetings we had, and I know he participated in the homeless meetings and stuff, and different things about CEQA groups that met there, and new rules and regulations involved with that, and there's all different things coming down at the Pike that open our eyes up to be prepared for as a city. So I did bring a few things from there to hand out, some handouts here for, and Mark Staples, you're included. You come up here too. First of all, I'll have to hand these out to all the members here.
That's your pistachios.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Get some for everybody.
Must look right over that one.
Yeah. Most of it. City Attorney.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Mark, you come on up here. You participate here. Because you'll be doing a lot of work because all the things are happening, so I had to bring you a little toolbox here. But all the construction's coming on, and let's see, you need to take notes too. So I'll give it to you for just make sure all the building codes and all the permitting and all that nice stuff, and especially the paperwork there. Fill out paperwork for those applications for these different new businesses and stuff. And this is mine. Mayor, sometimes you get a little upset a little bit, so quiet down. I don't know how it hits so hard that it's not so loud. So maybe a little softer when the moments come, and they need that to soften the blow a little bit.
Get anybody's attention that way?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, very nice.
And somebody, you get their attention, you throw a ball at them, get their attention without hurting on there.
There you go. All right. You know what? I have three grandchildren, 3 little cowboys.
Yeah.
Love that stuff right there.
And then Renee, a little bit of things here for you. And Mayor, do you play golf?
Do I play golf?
Yes.
Well, sometimes
I hope you do. I hope you do.
Perfect. Look at that.
Yeah.
Or those would make great toothpicks. Thanks, sir.
This is, in case things come up, you need to.
Yes, a fidgety thingy, yes. Calm nerves, yes.
Calm nerves. And for yourself, Yvette, I couldn't get a whole lot, but I know you got plenty of paper and pencil and stuff here. It's really hard. I really try really hard to find things and stuff to give, but here's the candy part for you, a little bit of candy here for you. Just putting you up a little bit. And Josh,
Thank you, sir.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. There. I bought something here for you too. I can't remember what it was. I know you're in the work department, so I've got a little bulldozer for you. Help you do up the lots and stuff.
Stress cube.
And this is to pull you off all the contracts coming into review and stuff. That'll go onto your iPhone.
Thank you.
One more thing for you, make sure everything's
Floss your
level.
teeth.
I got most of it. He had a lot of work ahead of him for all this new prosperity coming to Taft. Hopefully, if Walmart comes in or something, got a lot of work for the do. And at least of all, I have a lot of information for Craig. I've been through all these different booths and stuff to distribute to whatever department that may be helpful for and to go through. Mayor, this is our annual conference resolution package. I have to give that back to you.
Thank you.
But this would be,
Thank you.
there's some good things in there about Again, conference, there's a lot of stuff there to look at. About 99% of it we're never going to use. There's always that 1% you might get something out of it. You know, if it can save the city some money or get some ideas from. So this is mainly for just to get out there and see what's. One more thing for you, Yvette. While I was there, I did my ethics a little early. But I did it. But I learned a lot too on the ethics deal. I didn't know before. It's mostly great. And that's pretty much all I have here. But one nice thing for myself, I got the best end of the deal. One, I like to learn a lot there, and I think Councilman Josh did too, and enjoyed his time there and going about. But I wanted me a little watch over there. It had to be an Apple One. So I was a little surprised when I saw my name on the screen and stuff. I said, I never went out there. But, apparently I did, so I guess it's going to come to the city. So
I'll put it to good work.
Just put a good word. But anyway, that's all I have to say, and I just want to thank the city for giving me the opportunity to go to that conference. I know it's an expense and stuff, but it's just nice to see the people that's there and rub shoulders with other council members and hear their stories and stuff, you know, about the homeless and what they're doing. And there's a lot of stories of that, and it'll take more than King Solomon to solve that problem, I can tell you that. But anyway, that's all I have to say, Mayor. Thank you.
You bet. Councilman Bryant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll just echo that sentiment. I definitely appreciate the council and being able to serve at your pleasure and go and represent you all at the county, or at the League of Cities. Every time you walk into that expo room, immediately you smell two things, or three things, I should say. A lot of squishy toys, a boatload of pens, and lawyers. You smell them everywhere. You turn around everywhere, and they're everywhere. No offense, Chase. But like
I'm offended, and I'm not Jason.
Like Orchel said, when you go in there's people really trying to sell you something. And of course, 99% of it's something we're already using, we don't need, or that 1% is we might need it. And it's nice to see those folks. It's also nice to see the folks that you do deal with, whether it's been for a long time relationship or a very short relationship. The relationship we established with PARS is one of those. It's nice to talk to those folks and elaborate a little bit on what the possibilities are ahead in our relationship with those folks. Graphic Solutions, for instance, and seeing those folks down there, they're always down there promoting themselves, and they did a heck of a job in redesigning our logo. So always nice to hear that, and then him asking questions about, okay, where are you at in that process and getting those logos out there and utilizing the signage we design, etc. So it's a pleasure to go down there, but you know what? There's nothing better than coming back down that grapevine, especially when you're leaving a place like Long Beach and coming back to Taft. So people may not agree with me, but you know what? This is home. I want to just take a second and thank Dr. Daniels for coming and giving us that update. In a community that's this small, it seems like everybody seems to know everything, but you'd be surprised how little everyone knows about everything. And so I appreciate you giving us that feedback from the college, letting us know where you're at, because I would be willing to bet there's a lot of phone calls that come down to City Hall. Hey, what's going on in that building? I'm sure Kathy at the Chamber gets the same thing, so it'll be nice to be able to explain that. And I also appreciate you talking about the Cougar Cookout. I was going to mention that here in my comments, so I want to remind everybody one more time. October 11th, is it 6 p.m., Deb? Okay, October 11th, 6 p.m. Come enjoy the Cougar Cookout. If you're a veteran, come and eat for free. If you're an alum, come and eat for $20, and if you're not, come and eat for $30. It's a fantastic time. It's a great time to honor veterans, to honor Don and Linda Zumbro, and to just continue to build community. But while we're on that track, this Friday at the Bank Sports Lounge, or the Bank American Pub and Eatery, I think it's called now, 5 o'clock to 7:30, the Alumni Association is offering a happy hour to Taft College alumni to come down there, have a little fellowship with your fellow Cougars. I'll be happy to be there to join you and hopefully get you to come to the cookout as well. But doing what we can to try to continue to drive folks to a connection with Taft College, especially alumni. On the second piece there, I want to thank Mark. I know last week we had the CPAT folks, and I just want to tell you how much I know that we all appreciate your hard work on that. And I know it wasn't just you, so if anybody else was involved in that, thank you. But we appreciate that work, because that's going to lay a lot of the groundwork for how we continue to develop economically in the short term and in the long term. So thank you for all those hours putting in that application and even just bringing that program to light. I look forward to some of the fruit that starts to bear. And while I'm thanking folks, Susan Banner, Susan's a planning commissioner here, but I want to say thank you, Susan, for organizing the community cleanup on the weekend of the 7th and 8th. I wasn't able to be here, but you know what? It's that kind of thing, getting people to get out in their community and just to take a little bit of pride, Took a couple hours, but you know what? It made them feel good. It made things look good, and you know what? It makes a difference. So I couldn't thank you enough, and all the folks that helped you. I appreciate that, and I look forward to us to continue to do those things. Also to Westside Waste, I know they did the community cleanup in South Taft, and it may have been on the same date. So thank you to Bob and the folks at Westside Waste. Mr. Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you very much.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem Hill.
Thank you. I don't want to take any thunder away from Mr. Staples because I'm sure he's going to talk a little bit about CPAC tonight. But the one take I wanted to share was we did have we had nice participation from local businesses there. It was nice to see people come out with positive attitudes, but more importantly, it was nice to see people who are not from Taft talk about how great our city is. For those of us who live here all the time, we kind of take for granted what we see every day. Sometimes you need to just look around at other cities and go, downtown Taft is attractive. I mean, there's always going to be buildings that need a little bit more love, but in general, we have a pretty, clean, safe little town that other people look at and go, you have a diamond here, and it needs to be developed. And that was the take I took from this, was that we've got people that are not from Taft that look at what we have and say, you got something special. So I'm sure that Mr. Staples will present more, but we do have something special, and I'm proud to say we live here. So that's all I have.
All right, I'm having a bit of a time talking this evening, so I'm going to save my voice for those things that I have to talk about. Next up, department reports. I bet Mark Staples has a department report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mark Staples, Planning Director for the City of Taft. I'm going to start with, since it's not agendized, I'm going to kind of do a hybrid planning department report to have Commissioner Susan Banner give a brief report on what happened at our last Planning Commission meeting on October 5th.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. We had the pleasure of having Pro Tem Mayor Hill join us to discuss putting together an ad hoc committee to address the vagrancy and homeless issues facing us. We all agreed that it was a great idea, and I'm pleased to say that Commissioner Oren, myself, and our alternate is Commissioner Leichman, that'll join those committees, and together we hope to solve some issues there. We also had our planning director give us some information to review the sign ordinance that we have coming up. And basically that was a short, sweet meeting. We did do the cleanup day, the same day that Westside Waste put the dumpsters out there. And I have to tell you, it was, we put in 5 hours of hoeing and taking trash out, and it was a lot of work, but it was really a pleasure seeing the people that live up there at South Taft putting refrigerators out and carrying old couches and chairs to the dumpsters. And those guys from Westside Waste were great. They were just a great bunch of guys. It was a lot of fun. And hopefully we'll all keep our city beautiful. Keep it beautiful, keep it clean. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Banner's our junior commissioner, if you will, serving her first term, and this is her first committee she's going to be serving on, so hopefully she brings a lot of that energy to those first couple meetings. As Mayor Pro Tem Hill mentioned, last week we had the Blitz week, if you will, because I was very busy, where our CPAT team, which consists of, I think what Mayor Pro Tem was referring to, of people from out of town coming to town and liking what they see here. It was a 4-person team, 4 planners like myself, from all over, from Orange County to the Bay Area, from Portland to Houston, Texas to Chicago. And they provided what's termed technical assistance. So we basically just covered the room and board as they stayed here at the Best Western, and wherever they ate, we'll just be covering that, but none of the hourly cost that comes from a consulting contract. And their job was to get us started and kick us off with this downtown specific plan update. And they wanted to do a deep dive into what does it take to run a business in downtown Taft or any other small town. So the 3 days last week, we had 3 consecutive meetings at 5 p.m. at the Transit Center. The first 2 nights were to get as many of the downtown business owners into the room to get as much information out of them of what they liked in Taft, what other small towns they liked, and what aspects of those towns would they like to see here, or just what they like in general. And then Wednesday at 5 p.m. last week was the bigger workshop that included other folks that may not have a business downtown. They just care about the city. A lot of the stakeholders, folks from Westside Rec, and other areas. So we had our attendance for each night. We wanted the group small Monday and Tuesday night. We had 11 on Monday, 13 on Tuesday, and I know the Wednesday count is low because the people who actually did sign in was 24. Commissioner Livingston forgot to sign himself in, so he's 25. But there was a number of other folks there. And everyone did come with a great, positive, forward-thinking perspective. The team, who is far more experienced than me, they have worked in Arizona, all over California. That's what they do. They like going to that next contract. They don't really stay put in one city for any too long period of time. So every one of them, being the outsiders, loved our town immediately. They've been to some similar towns. They see the charm, everything we see, but they see it from being in other places and experiencing a similar project where they're trying to help figure out how to bolster what's here and then improve it and then get those other vacant buildings filled. So they took all the information from folks. The leader of each of the nights that really engaged with everybody, Susan Harden, I believe she walked up and down Center, and if you had a shop there, she stopped by and talked to you. And she wanted to get face-to-face information directly from you, and that also helped probably get a couple extra people to each of the meetings. But I think all of the folks that did talk to her appreciated it, and everybody came with great ideas. And there was a final presentation on Wednesday evening, more of kind of big picture what could happen with the downtown to get some of these buildings rehabbed and refilled with businesses and even some residential. And I'm planning maybe sometime late October, maybe November, I'll give a brief presentation as kind of a midway between when they should produce a final report in December. And that's when I'll give the final presentation on that. We may or may not get one of the team members, the team leader, here to present that information. So it may just be me, but I want to kind of keep you updated as we go along. So it was a lengthy presentation. There's a lot of pieces. I'm figuring out how to break it down and keep it concise and what best summarizes the week we had last week. But it was a great time. I appreciate everybody that came out and provided all this information. I appreciate those team members that did a lot of the engagement work with everybody, you know, kind of that never been here before, blank slate, you know, what is Taft? Everybody gave them great info to work with, and I'm really looking forward to that final report that we're going to get later this year. I think I'll end it with that. I'll take any information or any questions from the council, and any other information you want to know about how we're moving forward with this.
Okay.
You cover the bases.
Questions, anybody? Mark's the man. He's right there. Nope, must have filled us all. We know exactly what's going on. We see some progress going on up in the Rails to Trails area.
Yep.
See some cleanup of a building that needed to disappear. We see that going on. They're really busy at the healthcare, the new building. Those folks are getting on it. They're setting forms. The plumbing is going in the ground. The excavation backfill has been going on. So good stuff happening. Good stuff happening.
And along the lines of the Walmart comments earlier, we got the next ICSC conference coming up right after our next council meeting. So it's conference season for sure, from your League of Cities to my planning conference to ICSC. So we'll hopefully get a few more businesses in town following that.
All right,
so.
Excellent. We'll look forward to hearing about it. Thank you very much, Mark. Appreciate it. We have any other department reports this evening? No? Hearing none. Okay, I'm going to move forward then with City Manager statements. City Manager Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no statement.
All right. City Attorney statements. Jason.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No statement.
Okay. City Clerk statements. Caught you off guard. It's not on the agenda, folks. I just had to do something to break it up. All right. Future agenda requests. Do we have any future agenda requests this evening? None. Okay. Fast forward to the consent calendar. Consent calendar items 8 through 15. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the City Council requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after the regular business items. Are there any items on the consent calendar that any member of the public would like to comment on? Jillian? No? All right. Those items are item number 8, the minutes from the September 4th regularly meeting. Item number 9, payment of bills, about $400,000 worth. Item number 10, an ad hoc committee to address vagrancy and homeless issues. Recommendation is for information only. Item number 11, funding to the Taft Chamber of Commerce for the quarter of April 2018 to June 2018. Recommendation is a motion to approve the 25% allocation of the transit occupancy tax to the Taft Chamber of Commerce for the quarter of April 2018 through June 2018. Item number 12, disposal of city obsolete, unsafe, and uneconomical to repair equipment. Recommendation is a motion to approve disposing of listed equipment through online auction. Item 13, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft authorizing bank card services. Recommendation is a motion to adopt a resolution entitled, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft authorizing bank card services. Item 14, accept the lowest responsible bid and award the Main Street, 5th Street, and Rails to Trails Connection project. TDA Article 3, and authorize the mayor to execute the contract on behalf of the city. Recommendation is a motion to accept the lowest responsible bid, award the project, approve a construction agreement with Sencal Construction for the Main Street, 5th Street, and Rails to Trails Connection project. TDA Article 3, authorize the mayor to execute said agreement and approve the overage of the match out of HUTA funds or HUTA funds. I don't know that I like that. People get that confused with those multi-smoking things, yeah. All right, I'm at 15. Public Agency Retirement Services Pension Rate Stabilization Program. This is also for information only. When we discussed this and passed this at the last City Council meeting, those of you who are here, there's a great deal of additional information to be reviewed. And I did, by the way, hear from some more of the people that I reached out to from other cities, and it was all very positive. So, do any council members wish to remove any of these items from the consent calendar? Sure. Hearing none, at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar items 8 through 15.
Motion.
Second.
A motion is second. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Pryor?
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Hill? Oh, yes. Mayor Norr?
Yes, and that's approved on a 4-0 vote. Councilman Miller is not here this evening. Thank you. Item number 16, draft resolution in support of oil and gas industry. City Manager Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. At the September 4th, 2018 City Council meeting, staff was directed by council to bring back a draft resolution in support of the oil and gas industry per Councilman Cryer's request and Councilman Member Bryant's concurrence. Attached is a copy of the draft resolution provided by Cryer. For the purpose of confirmation of the facts stated in the resolution, staff did contact Columbia Citizens for Energy as provider of the statistics in the resolution. They confirmed their accuracy.
All right, thank you, City Manager Jones. The recommended action is direction to staff regarding moving forward with a resolution in support of the oil and gas industry. Councilman Cryer, you asked that we do this. I'll let you speak on behalf of it to begin with.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight I wish to formally introduce the resolution in support of the oil and gas industry in Taft and in California. I am sure you have already read and seen a number of city mayors, elected school board members, and other officials sign a letter to to the governor, Jerry Brown, and asking for the ban on all oil and gas production in the state and switch to all renewable resources to provide California with the energy resources it needs. The residents of California are being lied to and misled about the importance of the oil and gas industry in California, and now critical it is to our economy and way of life. The Sierra Club and over 150 elected officials in the state have pledged to support the banning of all oil and gas production in our Golden State. As elected officials, we must do all we can to educate and inform the people of Taft and California that fossil fuels are the bedrock of our way of life, providing Californians with the countless resources from the oil production used to make our clothes, shoes, electronics, and our standard of living and quality of life. If passed, I am committed to forward this resolution to other cities and government bodies to seek other support for all our important oil and gas industry, energy that has powered this state for over 100 years. And I'm committed to this, and I've been getting involved with the League of Cities, and I'm signing up to get be on the committee here on the southern San Joaquin Valley regional of our League of Cities. And for people who don't know, in the 80s, I used to have, with my partner, Charles Porcher, he was my business partner, he was a chemist. We had about 1,100 acres of oil leases in West Virginia, several leases, a total about 1,100 acres. And over there, our issues over there was paraffin problems. He developed a different technology to inject, to get rid of, to disperse the paraffin so we get the oil flowing and stuff, and it worked pretty well. And the name of the company was Tatisha Recovery that we own. But that's my basis of my experience in oil and gas. I've been involved with that since the 80s, but not recently. I make that clear. I don't have any oil wells. I don't have any gas wells. This is in the past in my early history. So I do have, I can say that I do have some experience in there. And at that time, we used to go to Parkersville, and to get a permit to drill a well, and it took very simple. One page fill out, property location, a kind of point on a little map, and $50. That's all it took. And you can start the next day. That's all it took was to put a well in. Can't do that here in California. Even back in the 80s, you couldn't do it here in California. And they didn't like people in California. I can tell you that one bit. But and I asked several questions and asked them about the environmentalists and stuff. That was a mistake. They kind of questioned me a little more if I was from California. I didn't want to say that. But anyway, they said, well, there's 2 of them missing they haven't found yet. That's what their answer back to me. So they kind of stay close to home. But it's a whole different ball game over there. And here in California, we have so much over regulations and stuff. And pretty soon, I just wish the people who really preach this stuff would go vegan on the oil industry. Don't use anything to it, the oil. Don't even anything that's tied to it. Like, you know, don't use it. But unfortunately, we're dealt the cards. We have to live with it. We need to support our industry because it's not the oil industry. Which would be next? The farming industry? There'll be other industries in our own state. And I asked Tracy Leach to come here tonight, and she couldn't make it. She had other obligations. She was pretty busy, and so she wasn't able to be here tonight. But she said she'll try to come to the next meeting when we do the resolution. But that's all I have to say, Mayor. Thank you.
All right. Councilman Bryant, do you have anything to say in regard to this?
Just real quick, as a suggestion, I would like us to modify that slightly to add a couple more local details. The fact that the oil fields here in the city of Taft and around the city of Taft have been operating for more than 100 years. They support really the ongoing viability and jobs, income for everybody that's employed here. So I would ask that we include facts like that. While what's there is fantastic, if we really want this to make an impact, we have to have the connection to the people who live here, not just what the industry does itself. So,
Mayor Pro Tem Hill.
Well, I like everyone in this room and completely support the oil and gas industry. However, I feel like to some degree we've already done this. I mean, I don't think we could have had a better advocate for gas and oil than our mayor and the infamous blimp. I can't even imagine anything that we can do can top that. I mean, it was a perfect timing event. We've already been praised for our participation in that, and I guess I'm a little confused as to how this is going to better that. I mean, I don't want us to, believe me, I'm not saying that we should not support oil and gas, but I feel like we've done that. And am I missing something? I mean, I just want to figure out how are we going to do this in a way that would enhance what you did. What you did, in my personal opinion, was the most perfect way to support oil and gas.
Get other cities involved with it other than Taft. The whole point is get a ball rolling where we get a lot more approval to put a stop to it as far as get our sister cities here in our own county, then go to other counties and stuff, and hopefully working through League of Cities, may get a resolution from them in support of the oil industries and stuff. And it's not just stopping right here and write a resolution, put it on a wall somewhere. I want to go forward and see other cities and counties get involved with it, and maybe go before the supervisor in Kern, get them to a similar resolution.
Just don't go to Arvin.
I'm taking care of that already.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, well, in regard to that, I would have to say that, it's interesting. I have heard, and I shared those letters with the audience and the people of the city of Taft, and with all of you, the letters that I've gotten from presidents and vice presidents, CEOs of all the major oil companies. Matter of fact, since then, I have seen them at social events as well. In point of fact, in regard to this organization, I'm gonna address these folks at Cafe Med. I think next Thursday I was asked to go there and speak to all of them, as well as community leaders in the city of Bakersfield about this very thing. I think it's quite critical. I truly do believe all of our business partners in the area know exactly where we stand. Now, if your purpose is to put together a resolution to pass such that you can pass it on to other cities, other counties, or whatever, I understand that. I truly do believe that the format for this is a statement of fact as opposed to a resolution. So if indeed we're going to move forward with this, God knows I support the oil industry. I've been working in it full-time since 1981. I raised my family doing it. If we're going to do this, we need to do it properly and professionally. So I would recommend that this be turned over to staff and that we get a draft from them. They work magic with these things, and they are the ones who can do this, because this is a great statement of fact right off of Kern Citizens for Energy's website, is it not?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and Tracy Leach added some stuff to it.
Well, I'll be seeing Tracy here shortly. Yeah. So yes, it would be concurrence, if we're going to move forward with this, that we would ask staff to review this and put it in the proper form of a formal resolution.
Be great. I concur.
All right.
Sorry.
Not like that.
Very good. I believe we're just giving direction to staff, so we don't need a motion or a vote.
Okay.
All right. Everybody agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then. Thank you. That concludes this evening's open session meeting. We are going to be going into closed session. For item A, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, government code section 54956.9B, one potential case. Item B, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, government code section 54956.9A, Taft Union High School versus the City of Taft. And item C, conference with labor negotiator Craig Jones, city manager, government code section 54957.6, all units. Thank you all for coming this evening and being a part of our meeting, especially you, Jillian. Say good night, Jillian. Do you want to use the gavel? No? All right. Good night, Al.